I want to be really honest with you guys about something. I have made every single mistake that I'm about to show you in this video, every single one of them. And I'm not saying that to be relatable or to fill time. I'm saying that because if I sat down and looked at the real cost of these mistakes, looking at them in real dollars, it would be way more than I ever expected. And I don't want that to happen to you. So today we're going to go through the 5 money mistakes that keep most people from building wealth at all. And I want to show you exactly how I adjusted and changed my methodology, not in theory, not in concept, but a very specific thing that you can do this weekend, because the whole point of this channel, not just understanding this stuff, but actually doing something with it. So let's go ahead and get into it. Mistake number 1, and honestly, this is the one that is going to cost more money than anything else, is simply not getting started. When you look at the average individual in the United States, they get a first paycheck. They wait years, if not decades, before they start investing the first dollar. And I get it. For most people, it might not feel like the right time. The market might seem too high or too volatile, or they want to focus on paying off debt first, or you want to wait until you have more money till it's really worth it to start investing. I have heard every single version of this story over the last 20 years. And honestly, I have lived this. I didn't start investing till around 35, which is about probably 15 years later than I should have. And here's what it actually costs you in real numbers. If you invest that $500 a month starting at 25, earn that 10%, the long-term historical average of the S&P 500, you'd end up with about $3.2 million by the age of 65. If you wait till 35, when I did, started investing that $500, you'd end up with 1.1 million. Same contribution, same return, just a 10-year difference when it starts investing. And that difference, $2.1 million. That is the true price of waiting to invest, not the money you didn't put in. The $2.1 million is the compounding that you gave up over that 10 years. And these numbers really should bother you, and it should bother all of you, because the younger you start this, the more you're going to really invest. Now, the fix for this, guys, open up the brokerage account now, today, tomorrow, this weekend. Fidelity, Schwab, M1 Finance, Robinhood. We got some links down below. It does not matter. And I want to fund it with whatever you have. 25 bucks, 50 bucks, 100 bucks. The amount is not the point right now. The account being open, the account being active, and you investing is the point we're trying to do here. That is the system that we're doing. You can always add more, but you can never go back and recapture the 10 years you lost from investing just because you waited for the market. Now, mistake number 2, keeping too much money in that savings account. And before anyone says it, yes, you need an emergency fund. We are talking 3 to 6 months of expenses sitting in cash. This is going to be liquid. This is going to be accessible. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is any money above there. That means the extra $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 that has been sitting in the account for years, earning that 0.5 interest when inflation is running around 3%. You are losing money by keeping money there. So what does it actually mean? If you have $20,000 sitting in a savings account, earning that 0.5, that means you're making $100 a year. Inflation is eating up $600 to $800 per year, meaning your purchase power is being reduced every single year. You're losing money in real terms, even though it feels like you're being very responsible by having that savings account. And that is the trap. It is the ability to feel safe when you're actually falling behind financially. Meanwhile, that same $20,000 in the VOO over the last decade would have about a 13% annual return. That means $2,600 a year versus $100 keeping it in a savings account. Now, the gap between those two numbers is the point of wealth building, or it is wealth destruction. The choice is entirely up to you. So the fix for this, keeping that 3 to 6 months of an emergency fund in a high yield savings account. We are talking 3 to 4% in keeping it in cash. Everything beyond that, and I am talking every single dollar behind that, needs to be invested. The VOO, the VTI, the HD, something like the QQQM. Pick one, put the money in there, put it to work in the account that we opened in the next step. Sitting on excessive cash is not being safe. It is losing money very, very slowly. Now, mistake number 3, and the biggest one that I see, not having a Roth IRA, or at least not maxing it out, or, and I see this constantly, people having a fully funded IRA sitting in cash, not invested in the market, not invested really anywhere, just sitting there in a money market collecting dust while the tax-free compounding is slowly ticking away. Now, I did a full video on this earlier, so I want to keep it short, but a lot of people need to hear this. A person who maxes out their IRA from age 25 to 65 We are talking 40 years and invest in the S&P 500, ends up roughly with $1.9 million, 100% tax-free. We are not talking tax deferred, tax-free, $0 owed to the IRS on your $1.65 million in growth, which is insane. And if you have a Roth IRA and it is sitting in cash right now, you have to open up that brokerage account like we talked about. You need to get it fixed. You need to get it invested, because this is what is costing that tax-free growth every single day that it stays uninvested. Now, the fix for this one, open up the Roth IRA if you don't have it. Exit out if you can, $7,000 a year if you're under 50. Make sure you are actually investing the money that is in there. VOO for the core, QQQM if you want some growth, accelerators on top of that with aggressive ETFs, which we talked about. Check in on it today, not next month. I want you to do it today. Now, mistake number 4, overcomplicating the portfolio. On this channel, guys, we keep it super simple, and I want to be real with you because this is something that I did, again, at a much younger age. There was a point where I would research ETF for hours, every day, every week, reading articles, watching videos, trying to figure out which is going to work the best, what is the portfolio going to look like, adding different sectors, moving different positions, looking at different percentages, and all of that produced worse returns than if you just left the money alone. You're really overcomplicating it. The data is actually really clear when it comes to this. The more portfolio decisions an investor makes, the worse the real return tends to be over time. It's called decision fatigue. When we start looking at dividend ETFs, they roughly hold 60 to 70% of the exact identical underlying stocks. So running 3, 5, even 6 different ETFs doesn't give you diversification like a lot of people think. It gives you overlap, it gives you extra expense ratios, and more reason to second guess yourself as the dividend ETFs are going up and down. I did a whole video on the HD a little bit earlier and why one well-chosen ETF landing consistently will beat out a multitude of ETF strategies when it comes to investing. Go check out that video after this, guys. The principle is the same whether you're talking about dividends or you're looking at growth simplicity. Held long enough will always win. So the fix for this one, pick 1 or 2 core ETFs at the very most, the VOO or the VTI, HD for dividend, QQQM for that growth kicker, and the whole portfolio, just those 3 ETFs will work incredibly well. Write it down, automate the contributions, stop researching and start holding when you start investing. And mistake number 5, and guys, this is probably the one that is going to cost you more money than anything on this list. It is reacting to the market versus sticking with that execution with the plan that we built. We literally watched this happen in real time in the last few weeks. The market dropped, and we seen it drop a couple weeks ago. People sold, they locked in their losses, they moved into cash, waiting for things to calm down. Then we seen a huge, biggest market rally that we have seen in years. And those people that were sold into cash or sold their positions missed out entirely at 100%, got reinvested in the market with really at the top of FOMO, making sure they can get invested. Both of these moves cost some people tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Real money is compounding. Selling in panic and buying in euphoria are 2 of the most expensive emotional reactions that we see in personal finance, and everyone will do this at some point of their investing journey. If you don't have a written plan, your emotions become the written plan. And trust me, emotions are terrible investors. They buy high, they sell low every single time. The investors who came out ahead this year are the ones that really didn't do anything when it came to timing. They stayed invested, continued their contributions, and did nothing dramatic. We are talking boring wins, constant wins, and really every single time investing long enough for that long-term horizon. Now for this fix, guys, write down your investment plan. We are talking one page only, what you own, why you own it, what percentage you're targeting in there, and how often you're doing contributions. Then we're going to add one single rule in here. Before making any changes in the portfolio, you must wait 48 hours. Most emotional investing decisions do not survive that 48-hour time frame. And if it still makes sense after the 2 days, then maybe it is the right move. If it doesn't, you just saved yourself from a very expensive mistake. So there you are, guys. Those are the 5 mistakes: not starting, savings account trap, no Roth IRA, overcomplicating that portfolio, and reacting instead of executing when it comes to investing. All 5 of these mistakes I have personally made at some point, and looking back, every single one of these are going to cost you real dollars. And I wish someone explained, sat me down, and walked me through this much earlier. Here's what I want you to do. Don't try to fix all 5 of these weekends. Pick one, just one. That is going to be your takeaway from this video. Fix that one, open the account, move the money, check that Roth IRA, make sure it's invested, simplifying your portfolio. One thing this weekend, and then come back next week, because this is where we're going to be doing this every single week. Real numbers, real strategy, real progression towards that financial goal. Now, of course, drop a comment down below and tell me which one of these 5 mistakes hit closest to home for you. I read every single comment. I reply to every single comment. And of course, if you found this video helpful at all, subscribe to the channel, because the best financial decision you can make right now is to keep learning. Give the video a like. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and I'll catch you in the next one.